It weighs about 3 pounds. It has hundreds of thousands of blood vessels. It contains more connections than there are stars in the Milky Way. It controls every level of our biology and our lives. It is the fattest organ in the body. In school or in life, were you taught anything about your brain and how understanding its functions could help you? Were you taught how the brain can affect your health physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Were you taught anything about how to keep the brain healthy? Few of us know how to leverage its true potential. So why not learn more about the most important part of our bodies and how to better utilize its amazing abilities?
The human brain is a network of approximately 100 billion neurons. Different experiences create different neural connections which bring about different emotions. And depending on which neurons get stimulated, certain connections become stronger and more efficient, while others may become weaker. This is what's called neuroplasticity. Someone who trains to be a musician will create stronger neural connections that link the two hemispheres of the brain in order to be musically creative. Virtually any sort of talent or skill can be created through training. Rudiger Gamm, who was a self-admitted hopeless student, used to fail at basic math and went on to train his abilities and became a famous human calculator, capable of performing extremely complex mathematics. Rationality and emotional resilience work the same way. These are neural connections that can be strengthened. Whatever you are doing at any time, you are physically modifying your brain to become better at it. Since this is such a foundational mechanism of the brain, being self-aware can greatly enrich our life experience. Specific neurons and neurotransmitters, such as norepinephrine, trigger a defensive state when we feel that our thoughts have to be protected from the influence of others. If we are then confronted with differences in opinion, the chemicals that are released in the brain are the same ones that try to ensure our survival in dangerous situations. In this defensive state, the more primitive part of the brain interferes with rational thinking, and the limbic system can knock out most of our working memory, physically causing narrow-mindedness. We see this in the politics of fear, in the strategy of poker players, or simply when someone is stubborn in a discussion. No matter how valuable an idea is, the brain has trouble processing it when it is in such a state. On a neural level, it reacts as if we're being threatened, even if this threat comes from harmless opinions or facts that we may otherwise find helpful and could rationally agree with. But when we express ourselves and our views are appreciated, these defense chemicals decrease in the brain, and dopamine neurotransmission activates the reward neurons, making us feel empowered and increasing our self-esteem. Our beliefs have a profound impact on our body chemistry. This is why placebos can be so effective. Self-esteem or self-belief is closely linked to the neurotransmitter serotonin. When the lack of it takes on severe proportions, it often leads to depression, self-destructive behavior, or even suicide. Social validation increases the levels of dopamine and serotonin in the brain and allows us to let go of emotional fixations and become self-aware more easily.
any given time during our daily activities, our mind is bombarded with millions of bits of sensory information from our physical environment and our internal environment. Sounds, smells, tastes, sights, and feelings, as well as our own internal thoughts, are continuing being downloaded into our system, and our mind needs a way to filter that information. In fact, the conscious mind, which processes information at a rate of about 40 bits per second, pales in comparison to the work of the unconscious mind, which processes information at a rate of 40 million bytes per second. The brain filters the vast majority of information that is available around us and allows only a small part to our conscious mind. It's the purpose of the reticular axis system. This tiny portion of the brain, about the size of your pinky, can actually have a major role and effect on your life in general. It is the part of the brain that makes us feel that our thoughts and beliefs have to be protected from the influence of others, and why we fail to see what may be obvious to others. Our beliefs and thoughts that are so well protected by the RIS have a profound effect on our body chemistry. Stress also has an overwhelming impact on our brains and our body chemistry. For example, cortisol, the main stress hormone, trumps all other body hormones. It decreases the level of serotonin and dopamine in the brain, which decreases our level of self-awareness. Knowing how stress and the RAS keeps us from being truly mindful and conscious can change our lives. To be in harmony with our external world, we must first be in full control of our own internal environment, our mind. In order to allow a belief to change, we must first initiate it in our thoughts, in our mind. William James, in the early 19th century, said, "When we change our inner attitude of the mind, you change your outer circumstances." By learning to activate the reticular activation system, one can increase the levels of arousal and increase the chances of reaching their goals. We can shift from a passive position to an active one by affirming, feeling, and visualizing the life we want to live. It can rewire our mind and our brain to form new neural patterning, which can very rationally take us headfirst into the life of our dreams. It's all up to us. The reticular activation system, or RAS, also regulates our wakefulness and sleep-wake transitions. When one thinks about it, wakefulness and sleep-wake transitions may mean more than traditional physical sleep. One could interpret it as unconsciously sleepwalking, unaware of our surroundings and our beliefs and our behaviors and the potential possibilities. Or consciously being awake and aware to all the possibilities. NeuroYoga postures and breathing techniques can quicken the process by using neural patterning. So why not reduce your stress, improve your brain, get stronger, healthier, more relaxed, and self-actualize?